Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire Stick TV, Facebook, and YouTube. Get all your sports news here first. The daily podcasts are Ken and Ken in the Morning, Lions Talk with Smoking Jeremy B, Wrestling Roundup, The Big Football Show, and more, Shield TV, Lions Villain Report, and Red Zone Rant. The afternoon podcasts are Valhalla, Grosef Sports, WCFL Dolphins Talk, The Cheap Seats, The Bodkin Show, Spirit of Detroit Podcast, and Maniacs. The nightly podcasts are Palace Hall Report, Frozen Tundra Network, Skull Gang 365, The Huddle Sports Network Open Mic, First and 10 with Foz, Main Event Football Show, Prime Sports World, The Man Cave, Prim and Proper Sports. Spitballing Podcast, Lions Fan Cave Chat, Puckett, 313 Den Podcast, The Guys Huddle, Shots from the Sideline, Let's Talk Sports, The Michigan Truth Sports Podcast, Off the Rails, NFC Northeast, Power Hours, and Detroit Lions News. Make sure you follow, like, share, subscribe, and comment. Hope you like all the shows.
Here locally in the community, make sure y'all go check out Kneecap Bodies by Jeremy Campbell.
Good afternoon. It is Lions Talk with Smoke and Jeremy B. We got Davey in the chat going, good afternoon, One Pride. It is War Week. That is why I'm wearing the camo. I will continue to wear the camo on almost every show. But yes, a lot is going on. We all know this. We know Hutchinson's out. There's no reason to beat a dead horse. I think we're going to see Paschal, DJ Reader, Aleem McNeil, and Levi Onwuzurike as the starters to start the game. You will see Isaiah Thomas come in. You'll probably see Isaac Uku come in. I think we're going to have Trevor Nowoski starting in the Sam spot where Derek Barnes was living because he showed out really well in that second half. Even after Hutchinson went down, he was another sack added to this team. So I think that's a good spot for him. Today, there's a knee strain going on with Brian Branch. He's questionable now. CD3 has a quad issue. So we may be down CD3. If we're down both of those guys in this game, it's going to be tough sledding. Let's not mistake what Brian Branch helps with the middle of the field. Gave something to talk about. How's the back? Sore as hell. I'm not going to lie. It was all I could do to get here on time to the computer. But I'll live. Another day without work. I can't afford much more of these. Jerry Jones is imploding. We may see a coaching change in Dallas soon. Who knows what's going on there? Cooper Rush didn't do much better than Dak did. Didn't throw a touchdown, threw a pick. So it is what it is. Good afternoon, Dwayne Keene. Good to see you. Second day in a row, and I can barely walk. I ain't going to lie. It is what it is. I'm more interested in talking football than my physical health, though, because my health don't matter when we're talking football. I don't play the game. But there are some trade rumors out there, of course. They're always going to be there. But I believe Levi Onwuzurike will be the starting at defensive end. And I say that because when Hutchinson came off or Paschal came off the field, he would switch out the defensive end where he got most most of his pressures from, and also one of his 1.5 sacks came from there. So, yep, I'm taking a leave. Um, that's basically all I can do is a leave and Tylenol, and I alternate the Tylenol in between the leaves. It's an inflammation of some sort. I think I pinched a nerve. I think it just popped into that pinch when I sat into my car Monday night after work, and or Tuesday night, I should say. And here it is Thursday, and I can barely walk. Sucks because we have flights of stairs. This is a tri-level home, so everything I do, I got to go up and down stairs. So I'm taking it one step at a time. That's all I can do. So far, we got 29 viewers. I want to say thank you to each and every one of you, and no matter what platform you're on, other than the Roku, because I don't know if you can like it through the TV. Please hit the like button, whether you're on Twitter, whether you're on Facebook, or whether you're on YouTube, because that's what helps these channels grow. It helps the algorithm. It puts the likes up there. It does everything we can do. So there's been an abundance of trade rumors out there, these trade proposals that are wild and preposterous. And I understand they're not preposterous if we get that top tier talent. I say they're preposterous because we haven't seen Brad Holmes do those type of moves yet. I'm not saying he won't. I'm just saying we haven't. And until I see it, I don't believe they're happening. I like, in order, the guys I like: Aziz Ojulari, Bryce Huff, and Zadarius Smith are the ones we know that are out there on the trading block right now. Aziz Ojulari, you can probably get for a late day two pick, of a third round pick, maybe a fourth. Uh, Smoke and Dad has entered the chat. Haven't seen you for a minute. Good to see you, Dad. Uh, like I said, I think we're going on Muzariki opposite Pascal, and Reader and Aleem are in the middle. Hit the like button. It puts the likes on the show. Or do you all get the hose again? To quote Buffalo Bill. Um, but those three are kind of the ones I like. Zadarius Smith is kind of like my fourth option. But there's an option that hasn't hit, and I'm quite sure that if the Jaguars lose this weekend, yeah, I saw Titans release Jamal Adams. I don't know where if anybody's going to reach out and grab him. He's really done nothing for that defense. He isn't doing much, so I don't know if he's a valid option for any team out there. I just think he's kind of washed at this point in his career. Not the hose, Joseph Austin. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. But it's it's kind of crazy. But if the Jags lose, the rumor is out of the Jaguars camp that Walker and Allen are both hitting the trade block. Allen just got paid, so that's going to be a huge hit to them, but they would rather have the draft picks they'd get in compensation. That means you're going to be giving up at least a first rounder, if not more, for Josh Allen. Trayvon Walker, they feel like he hasn't lived up to that first pick potential. Dale, not yet, but you know what? I'm pushing through because that's what I do. Um, But Walker, on the other hand, I like the idea of him because they're talking about a day three and a day two pick. And that's more of the type of moves you'd see Brad Holmes make. And how great would it be to have the first, the second, and the 12th pick from the same draft on this roster? Not a lot of money tied up because it's a rookie deal on Walker. You get him for another full season after this. You can just you could just accept his 5th-year option and tell him, "Hey, do great another season, and we'll talk to you in the off season," because that way he's still on the roster through 2026. Hutchinson, on the other hand, we know that he'll probably get his deal as soon as he's healthy. So, how great would that be? Trayvon Walker, this is for next season. Trayvon Walker for the rest of this year. Trayvon Walker and Hutch next year, as well as Jameson Williams for the next couple of years. I, I'm just saying, this is what I'm hearing from Jaguar circles, beat writers, and stuff like that there, that he will go on the trade block if they lose in London. And he's actually providing pressure and advancing that team. Yes, they do. They still have Trevor Belke. They've passed on Hutch for Trayvon Walker. And the only thing that Trayvon Walker has is that he's still on the roster playing and healthy. But that Jags team is falling apart. So I personally am rooting for a Patriots win in London. I don't care if they get their second win of the season or the Jags get their second win of the season. That has nothing to do with it. I want to see those guys hit the trade block. Josh Allen will go to somebody that is a contender that needs something. But I would rather have Walker out of the two because it's a cheaper deal and you get better value out of your draft compensation you'd have to trade for him. How great would that be, Brent DeWitt, if you ended up with Trayvon Walker, Aiden Hutchinson, and Jameson Williams on this team next year, and having Trayvon Walker the rest of the season, who does have 5 sacks? Go Pats, 100%. But that's the contingency. The Jaguars have to lose, and I expect they will. Drake May is looking decent. Yes, he holds the ball too long. You could clock his release on a sundial, but he's been accurate. Getting the top 2 picks from that draft would be crazy. 100% Matt Henry, but it is a feasible option if they lose this week. If they don't lose, I'm so glad they thought Hutchins' arms were too short. And then you don't even have to work on what college did Walker go to again. God, wasn't that Georgia he was from? Or was it Alabama? I think it was Georgia. Georgia. University of Georgia. I was right. He didn't put up a ton of stats in college, but he had a very high upside. He was also good at defending the run. Sore as hell, Ricky, but I'm alive and I'm still here doing this. I'm just saying, I think, and do you know Trayvon is not his first name? His first name is Yuri. Yury. It's Yuri Trayvon Walker. Another guy that goes by his middle name. I just feel like that's the deal. Give him like a fifth and a third round pick. You could give him the fifth round pick from this upcoming draft. He's a Hutchosaurus. You could give him the fifth round pick from this upcoming draft and either the second or the third round pick in the 2026 draft and get a guy with that potential upside. That's right, because it went Jags. Jags got Walker, Hutch to Detroit. Yeah, rain Dakota Prescott. He made it rain interceptions, didn't he? And he even did it after Hutchinson went out of the game. And this is why I think our defense is not as bad as everybody thinks it is. We were still creating pressure up the middle after Hutchinson went down versus their starting O line. I that can't be understated how much the difference that Reader and Aleem in the middle makes together. Wingo was even starting to get in there. He got pressures, he didn't get any sacks. He made a couple stops on the run game behind the line. I was really impressed with how Wingo handled himself after a couple of days. So imagine if you got Trayvon Walker with his upside, and I don't think he's hit his potential yet. And Hutch was just hitting his potential this year. We saw the first 5 sack game out of, or 4.5. Let's get technical because they gave half to Levi, and Levi was that defensive end in that particular play. I'm calling that out on purpose. Levi has had 14 pressures, with 10 of them being at defensive end. He's had a sack and a half from the defensive end position. That is why I think he will be the guy opposite Paschal. I think he's going to be our starter. I think we'll see Isaiah Thomas, Ufu, all the other guys in a rotational basis. I think they should give Trevor Nowaski the start at Sam linebacker. He did good in coverage. He was batting balls away from Jake Ferguson and the other tight end they got, Schoonemaker, right? The one out of Michigan. Um, it's I think we have a good chance to win this game. Aaron Jones is out. Blake Cashman is out with turf toe, which is a big reason why tight ends haven't been able to do anything up with that defense. Blake Cashman also was helping the blitzing packages when they would disguise and drop Van Ginkel into coverage. They would blitz with Cashman. He's a bigger loss than people realize. I understand they got the rookie Hill. I know they got Ivan Pace Jr., but he's been a no-show all season. I understand, and that's why I'm going with the direction I am. Do you know, in the 9% that Hutch hasn't been off the field, we've gotten 4 sacks through these 5 games? I'm bringing that up on purpose. It's a damn good stat to know. Um, 24 pressures created outside of Hutchinson. That's between the interior O linemen, the linebackers, and the defensive ends outside of Hutchinson. Granted, it wasn't as much as PFF list for Hutchinson, but stats.com only gives him credit for 18. It was still first in the league. He was second in the league for tackles and loss. He was first in the league in sacks. And we know how much we're going to miss him. I think Garrett is, because of his caliber, is going to be like a Max Crosby type of deal. And yes, we could afford that, but I think we can get Walker for less than we can get Garrett. We can get Walker for less than we could get Josh Allen. We could get Walker for less than we could get Max Crosby. And you're getting somebody with that potential for the future. Imagine putting Walker with Terrell Williams for the rest of the season and next year. That would be a huge boon to Walker and this defense, is in my opinion. You guys can take it with a grain of salt if you want. Aaron Jones being out, we saw Sam Darnold was not the same quarterback without Aaron Jones running the ball versus the Jets. And the Jets came back, and if it wasn't for Aaron Rodgers underthrowing Garrett Wilson, they could have won that game. Everybody's celebrating Aaron Rodgers throwing a Hail Mary that didn't even win the game. I don't get it. Oh, me too, Paul Jones. It's been bad. I'm just saying, if we can get Walker for less than we can get any of those other top tier guys, and he has a ton of potential and he's still learning how to play in the NFL, it's a huge boon for the future of Detroit. Exactly, Ricky Sakat. I say the same thing about Miles Garrett. Um, the rumor is yesterday we reached out and it wasn't about Miles Garrett. It was about Zadarius Smith. Zadarius Smith is 32 going on 33 years old. when he's on the field and he buys in, he's a great player and a pass rush specialist and a liability in the run game. But Levi and Pascal is good in run stopping too. So we could still start with the same guys and bring him in a rotation in a pass rush specialist role. The guy that's disappointed me in pass rush has been Pascal. He's been better the last couple of games, but he's still not consistent at it. So Jim Jackson, I agree with Joe. Our secondary is improving on game. Arnold is getting less handsy and will become a great corner across from Davis. Davis having a quad injury concerns me. He's not being held out of practice due to concussion protocol. He cleared that on Monday. He's being held out because he has a quad issue. So we may have to see Amik Ray Robertson or do the by committee like we did with Vildor and Dorsey, who did fill in admirably, not allowing CD Lamb to break open on them. So say what you want about Vildor. He's proving his worth on this roster when he does come in to spell somebody in a relief role. And let's talk about the emergence of Tim Patrick. And I'm not going to say he's better than Josh Reynolds. What I am going to say, he is the equivalent of what Josh Reynolds was lately. Mr. First Down, making catches, contested. And Amik is badass, and he's so far been our best coverage corner. It's Amik, Terrion Arnold, then CD3 for the corners that play every down. Rakestraw came in and he didn't do bad, but he did get burned on a play because it was his first real action since coming back off the injury that he suffered in week 3 of the preseason. So I expect Amik will get better with time. But Rakestraw will get better with time. But I think what they need to do is put Rakestraw. I agree. Dwayne Keene, if you're going to bring people out of retirement, let's bring in the dirty players. Let's bring back Sue, who hasn't filed his retirement paperwork. JJ filed his retirement paperwork. He's been a spokesperson on the McAfee show. And he did say if he did come out of retirement and he was offered right now, he would want to come to the Lions. And that's why people are talking about it. McAfee even put up those AI pictures with him in Lions uniform. So I get the hype about it. I don't think he's coming out of retirement. He looks like he's about 25. Patrick is looking like an upgrade from Josh Reynolds. So far, I'm going to say he looks the equivalent of what Josh Reynolds was to start the season. I'm not ready to say he's an upgrade yet, but he is taller. He's not any faster, but he does seem to have just as sure a hand. That's where I'm at with the Tim Patrick thing. I hope you guys understand. I'm not downplaying what Tim Patrick is doing. Patrick runs great routes from what I've seen so far. Yes. And that catch he made fall into the ground when he was covered like a blanket was amazing. I don't care what anybody says. That's not a catch with about probably 75% of the receivers that are in the NFL. The top ones, yes, but 75% of them are not making that catch. And he's not a top wide receiver yet. He's still learning the system. He's still getting comfortable. So I do like the move of Tim Patrick. I also like the move that we added Allen Robinson, even though he hasn't done anything yet. I think he will, with time practicing with the first team, get involved with the offense as well. Khalif Raymond has been clutch, making some plays, but he's also ran some boneheaded routes that made it miss. So, granted, we've gone what 3 weeks straight without an interception out of Goff with the Vikings injury report looking like this. It it doesn't bode well to me. Let me get to that picture. That was a foul too, but no flag. 100% it was. Okay. Blake Cashman's out with turf toe. He's probably going to miss multiple weeks. Caleb Evans, defensive back. He has a hip, is not playing. Patrick Jones II, shoulder, not playing. Aaron Jones Sr., their top running back, has a hamstring issue, not playing. Harrison Phillips, another guy in the front seven, did not play. TJ Hawkinson His 21 day has been active, but he has to be made active by 4 p.m. today, or he cannot play Sunday. I don't think Hawkinson is playing. Dalton Risner is the same thing. His 21-day practice window is activated, but he hasn't been put on the active roster yet. He's been in limited practice. Today was the first time that Christian Mahogany did a full practice. My reasoning on Patrick being an upgrade is that because I went back and watched some of his tape and it appeared that he was better at contesting catches. Yes, I I get that, but I want to see him do it consistently as Josh Reynolds was to start the season last year. You remember for the first 7 weeks, for the first 7 weeks, Josh Reynolds, every catch was either a first down or a touchdown. So until I see that type of production happening, and it's close right now. Every catch has been a first down for Tim Patrick. He did have a drop so far, but so did uh, Josh Reynolds at that point by the 6th week of the season. This is week 7. I want to see what he does versus Minnesota. Blake Cashman, though, he's a lot of the reason why they had that zone coverage and tight ends weren't getting anything over the middle. And he also would blitz when Van Ginkel off the defensive end would drop back in coverage because Van Ginkel is one of those undersized defensive ends that can play outside linebacker or defensive end. He's just bigger on the linebacker side, so he plays more defensive end. He's a guy we have to watch out for. He'll show blitz and back out. And I know Goff usually doesn't get confused by guys like that. So, and I'm not saying he will, but I'm just saying watch out for Van Ginkel. He's been playing very well. I hear JB, he still needs to show it over an extended period. Exactly. If he does it again this week, where every catch goes to him, he's making the contested catches. Jim Jackson, you're exactly right. I don't think anything happens until after the Vikings game. Win and all is good. Lose and more of a big move made. I still think it's going to be. I think win or lose, if we trade for anybody, it's going to be more of those second tier guys that aren't going to cost you. Yes, only two team drops so far this season. One happened in this game, and everybody's calling it a drop, but I didn't see it hit Jamison Williams in the hands. I seen it go straight through and hit his shoulder bad. And yes, it looked bad, but they went right back to him the next play, and he made the catch. The exact same route. So say what you want. I just think the first one was because Jameson took his eyes off the ball. It went straight through to his shoulder pad, and so be it. And the other one was a Khalif Raymond drop early in the year. So we haven't had much. And by the way, a drop. How amazing is that? It was either him or Patrick. I can't remember who it was early in the year that had the drop, but it was a drop. No, Raymond ran the wrong route and the pass went out of bounds. It was Patrick that had a drop, I think. I could be wrong. Stranger things have happened. I'm not perfect. I try to be, but I'm not. But I'm loving what I'm seeing. After the Hutchinson injury, our defense only gave up a field goal. Does everybody realize this? Do you know how big that was? That we didn't go into that soft zone coverage. We maybe maintained that blitzing attitude. So I'm proud of JMO's progression in year 3. Right, agree, JB. But Holmes wants the Super Bowl, as does MCDC. Right, that's coaching the fundamentals, 100%. Now, do you want to hear the highest drop rates in the league? Amari Cooper has 45.3 at 5. DK Metcalf has 57.4 at 4. Darius Slayton has 64.9 at 3. Jalen Waddle, 75% drop rate. And Dalton Kincaid, who also is the Buffalo, is number one at 67.7. I agree, though Dallas is struggling, they are no slouch. They are still a high flying offense. Well, yes, we have this week, we have next week, and then we have the Packers week before the deadline hits on Tuesday, November 5th, which is voting day. Make sure you go out and vote. I'm not going to get into the political side and tell you who you should, but let's go, Brandon. That's all I got to say because she's been a part of that administration. Since entering the league in 2015, Amari Cooper has the most drops in the league. Second place, and it's somebody everybody loves, Jamar Chase. Cowgirls were a high flying offense, lol. So I'm predicting, right, we are primed. But look at what next man up. Coach will get them all to come play. Let's go, Brandon. Harpazo. Is that Brent in disguise? FT. Go Texans. Harpazo. I love it. Yes, JB. Brandon sucks. Enough said. I'll laughing my ass off. Oh, I just heard the little puppers get home, and that means the parents just came home because they went for a drive. Wow. So, cow turds were stifled. Yes. So, most drop in the league by teams. Let's go. Cleveland Browns are at 32 with 8.8% drop rate. New York Giants are second at a 7.5% drop rate. Green Bay Packers are third. New York Jets are fourth. Tampa Bay is fifth. New England tied with them. Houston's tied with them. Jaguars, Los Angeles Chargers, Buffalo Bills, and Seahawks all with 9. Arizona is the only team with 8. We got the Broncos, the Panthers, the 49ers, the Miami Dolphins, and Atlanta Falcons all have 7. Los Angeles Rams, Tennessee Titans, Cincinnati Bengals, Pittsburgh Steelers, Indianapolis Colts all with 6. The Chiefs and the Raiders have 5. Baltimore and Baltimore Ravens have 5. Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears have 4. And tied at second in the league now is 3 because they added the Jamison Williams drop. So three, one, two, three, four, 5 teams. That's the Commanders, Minnesota Vikings, New Orleans Saints, Detroit Lions, and Dallas Cowboys all have 3. And the Philadelphia Eagles lead the league with only 2. Yes, this is my TikTok name. Gotcha. We have a lot of great Brents, and it's a great name. So there we go. Packers at third. Who needs a number one wide receiver when you have 3 number twos? FTP. 100%. FTP. So that's what we're dealing with. I know the loss of Hutch is huge. I'm just saying we still created pressure the few times that Hutchinson was off the field in the last 5 games, and I am very happy to see what happened. So we got Denver versus the Saints. The Saints have no Derek Carr, no Chris Olave. Rashid Shaheed is out for the season. Taysom Hill is out. Patrick Surtain is the only one pretty much out of any note for the Denver Broncos. I mentioned Rashid Shaheed because he's tied for the lead in NFL receiving touchdowns at 5. They cannot replace that production with what they have in Equanimous St. Brown. They're missing their number one, their number two wide receiver. Their number three is mediocre at best, and he'll be playing the one. LOL, laughing toilet paper. My finger went through the FTP. Oh, all I know is we're coaching these guys up. I have heard that Isaiah Thomas has, when anybody's had to come off versus the ones in practice, he's been going in. He's been bull rushing and looking good. He has yet to get a sack, but he's been driving people back towards the quarterback, which still equals a pressure, which still equals a hurry. Scheiße. Du bist so ein Scheißen. Here's what I think about people that just keep downplaying what the Lions have been doing on offense. Get the fuck out of here. All NFC North teams look great. This week looks very scary without Hutch. Please notify politics, LGB. Yeah, I didn't get into the politics. I left it alone. I just said LGB. Unless you're talking about QBs, then you must be talking about LGBTQB1. One would think Mahorn would have been better than Isaiah. The Isaiah Thomas we got, there's like 200 of them in the United States, really. It's not Junior. It's not the one that was the point guard. We got the defensive end that was drafted in the 7th round, 2019, with the 223rd pick. Coincidentally, was a pick that the Lions and Boob Quinn traded to Cleveland to get David Blau. Oh God, I think it happens next year. We thought it was going to happen this year, but I think it's next year because Amon Ross St. Brown is huge in Germany, and I think we're going to end up with that overseas game next year because we've dodged that overseas bullet now. What, 4 years, 5 years in a row? It's about due. But we actually got a 3-1 record overseas, so I don't mind going overseas. It's why we have such a big following in Germany and London. We're 2-1 in London and we're 1-0 in Berlin, just for the record sake. Yeah, I still think it's gonna be a very close game. I don't think either team gets over 30 points. I think it's gonna be like a 24-21, 27-24 type of score. I don't think anybody scores over 30 points this week because both defenses are good. Both secondaries are better than we think. But they're missing key components on their defense too. I don't want that to be understated. That's what I was trying to tell them on the other show, and they were making it out as though, I understand that Hutch is a big loss. And I think the team is going to rally how they play because of it. They're going to use it as an empowerment tool. Right? Nobody hung their head and quit after Hutchinson went down versus the Cowboys. That's what makes me think this way. If I'd have saw them hang their head and Cowboys put up 17 points and made it close, guess what? I would have thought differently. But it didn't happen. We still held them to just a field goal for the entire half. I don't even think the Vikings are overrated. I think Sam Darnold has been doing what he needs to in that offense, but he's going to miss Aaron Jones and Cam Akers, even though he's serviceable, is no replacement for Aaron Jones. No, I'm not saying that the Lions can't. I'm just saying in this game, I don't think they can. Does that make sense, Joseph? I don't think they can. It's my opinion because I haven't seen the Vikings give up more than 29 points yet. The Vikings defense. That's where I'm going with. I mean, luckily, Aaron Rodgers pretended like he was throwing to Kirby Joseph versus the Vikings. Berlin, doubt it. Probably too political, but could be wrong. I'm thinking Munich. Okay. I mean, I think Germany is the game we go to next year because they got a stadium in Munich. They've got another one. Where's the other one? I think it's Mannheim, and the other one is in Berlin. That's the three stadiums I can think of off the top of my head. Because NFL Europe isn't called NFL Europe anymore, but there's still a European American Football League there. Uh, there's three teams in Germany. There's a team in England. There's a team in Spain. There's a couple of teams in somewhere in the middle there. Give me France, and the other one in Italy and Greece. That's where they're at. I only know because Coach John Bonamego, formerly special teams coach of the Lions, in two different stints. One with Schwartz, one with Caldwell. Also was the head coach. Is there any news on CD3? It is some type of quad issue. Um, he's out for the practice today. It doesn't. It just says questionable, so he's not ruled out for the game. Neither is Branch. It's a knee issue. Mahogany returned to full practice today, and everybody else was a full practice. So I'm not it could and there was a couple of guys out for personal rest day issues. So I'm not really worried too much. I think they're just holding them out as a precaution to make sure they don't injure something more. We'll see what happens tomorrow with the injury report. I don't worry till it happens 2 days in a row with anybody on this roster. 2 days in a row, then it's an issue. I hope that makes sense on how I worded it. Oh, great song. Three Dog Night reference. Well, I've never been to Spain. but I kind of like the music. Love that song. But you know what I haven't done this week? I think it would be. If they want to make it worldwide and eventually expand to a worldwide network, which that's what it seems like they're wanting to do. We've been to Rio now. We've been to. I think have they ever done a game in Puerto Rico yet or Australia? I know we got the NFL camp in Australia to teach American football, and they've got their own American football league there. But I'm trying to remember. You got the Canadian Football League. You got all sorts of arena football leagues popping up all over America. Japan has an American football team. It's looking like they want football, and I don't just mean flag football. There is an international football league where America goes overseas and plays games. It's more like 2 weeks between games and stuff. We lost to the Japanese team too, bad, like 42-17 in both American football and American flag football. But that's because they have professional leagues over there and they put together their top professionals, whereas we're doing our top amateurs in our lesser leagues. I hope that makes sense on how I worded it. You have the voice of an angel, JB. Let's not forget the Grim Reaper is an angel. Yes, he was. So was Lucifer, also known as the devil. He was the most beautiful, but he became the most arrogant, which is why he was cast from heaven. I was denied a leave to East Berlin back in '78 because of my security clearances. My love of German beer. LOL. West Germans haven't been happy since the wall came down. Mama told me not to come. Hey, that's another good Three Dog Night song. Yeah, the Japanese. Holy shit. Yeah, they whooped the hell out of us. I doubt they have an offensive lineman taller than 5'11". Sumo wrestlers aren't tall; they're just wide. I would love Detroit Lions plus Toronto. I've been singing most of my life, guys. Oh, it already happened, didn't it? Isn't Shohei Ohtani here? And Corey Patterson says, "Yeah, I seen that game. It was embarrassing. 100% it was embarrassing. A game we invented and we're not good at it in international play. It sucks." But at the same time, none of the teams wanted to relinquish professional players. I have us at 28-24. That's the type of scores I'm talking about. A realistic score. I think it's going to be a close game. It's going to be a dogfight. I think we're going to win on a Jack Bates late field goal, though. Wouldn't it be great? Because it's going to be cold. It's also supposed to be windy, which means the top will be closed in Minnesota. And all week it's been in the 40s and 50s down in Texas, as well as it's been up here. So the Texans have been practicing with the top open and allowing that cold to affect them on the field in practice. They're preparing to play in cold weather. I think it was very smart of them. Do we go bottom to top or top to bottom, boys? Realistic score 47-9. As long as we're on the winning end of that, I'm good, Joseph Austin. I'm just saying we're averaging 30.1 points per game, and that's with us scoring 16 in one of them. Their score, you got it, 31-28. Okay. I think it's going to be like 27-24 or 24-21. Either way, whether it's a win or a loss, I think it's that. And I think we will be able to run the ball really good. They've been good versus the run, but have they faced a rushing attack like this? No. And with Cashman being out and Ivan Pace Jr. isn't quite up to stuff yet. All right. From the bottom, here we go. FTP. Vodka Package. In third place, FDB. Buck the Bears. In second place, the Mighty Mighty Lions. And in first place, even though they're 5-0, I'm hoping they're 5-1 after this week. They can get skull fucked. Well, I actually think they could when if a sumo wrestler. Uh, it's about leverage and pushing people, and that's all an offensive lineman is about getting low, getting leverage, and pushing people. So yes, I think a sumo wrestler could be a good offensive lineman, defensive lineman, maybe. Yeah, I don't have FTP. I wish I could. I don't have that Leonard voice. Sorry. FTP, FTP, and FTV from Moonscar Blade. Good to see you, brother. Yep. Stop the run and run the ball. That is it. That's the keys to the game. I mean, we can say whatever we want. I understand. But if you stop the run and make them one dimensional, Sam Darnold didn't have a good game versus the Jets. I can pull up the stats for you right now. He was 14 of 31 for 179 and a touchdown. Aaron Rodgers went 29 of 52 for 240. Right. For 244, two touchdowns and three picks. And fuck them boys. They get to sleep off their Lions hangovers. Oh, they'll still lose the next game. We whooped them so bad it's going to hurt them for four. Jesus. No, you're not the only one. The Eagles were a top five team until Patricia was then. Yes, please do that. If we run touchdown off right tackle, we should do Samoan dance as a team. Yes. All I know is being there at Ford Field, watching from those seats right there. It was amazing. There was about 25,000 people there for that watch party. And I still love this. I reported to Ford Field for the Dallas watch party. I got to figure out how to hang that on the stuff. But it's been a great day. I want to thank everybody for coming in, but I have to also give thanks to my real sponsor, the one that pays me. Brandon Service, right here at South Grand Traverse and West Atherton Road, 602 West Atherton Road. In Flint, where the water's shit, but the tires are good. Used tires starting at $45 and up. New tires, call to get your quote. 810-233-8230. Talk to George, Red, or myself when I'm working. Right now with this back, I'm not working right now. If you mention this ad, you will get $10 off your set of tires. Oh, Jesus, that's always fun, Moonscar. And with that jazz. Yeah, I'm worried about Buddy Conquito. I haven't seen him in a few weeks, and he also hasn't been on Lion Talk Live. If anybody sees him, let him know we're worried about him here at Kneecap Biting with the Motor City Lions and everything else because I like that guy. And I can sit here and listen to this all day. Homemade, that is a crime at Moonscar Blade. Oh, he says he has been cutting a tree down that fell in his yard, but he was on Lions Talk Live. Good. I just didn't see him this morning. I was there. I just didn't comment. Um, Sometimes I think a few of us content creators get breathe too much life into rumors. I understand they're the headlines of the day and everything else, but sometimes you got to leave clickbaitsports.com alone. It, it blows my mind how many people just read it and go, "Oh my God, we're getting them." Um, just like yesterday, everybody freaked out yesterday morning saying we were going to get Riddick. Dwight Campbell says Vikings by 40. Man, wow. I don't think so. Neither one of our defenses are giving up a lot of points. People are underselling how much pressure we've created outside of Hutchinson. So I'm not there where I think we're going to lose by that much. And besides, the Vikings can go get skull fucked. I don't care if they're 5-0. Just playing. It's all about having fun. We can talk shit about our teams. We can make all the wild predictions we want. I think this is going to be a lower scoring game, somewhere under the 30-point mark for both teams. It's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a great game. You guys haven't faced a rushing attack like the Lions, and we haven't faced a defense like yours. And I'll leave it at that. Does that sound like a fair assessment, everybody? Have a great day, everyone. Amen, Brent DeWitt. I hear you there. But try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. It's the only way to make the world a better